Welcome back, it's Rich, and in this episode, Rich reviews a new classic, maybe. It's Top Gun Maverick. Let's do it. Welcome back to Rich Reviews, no-nonsense movie chat from the UK. So one that I missed due to starting this channel in 2023 is Top Gun Maverick, and it's one that I really wanted to review, so let's call this a classic already, because I think it absolutely is. Top Gun Maverick's the 2022 sequel to the 1986 film Top Gun, starring Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer, and this got a direct sequel a staggering 36 years later. The film was an absolute classic, but it does show its age now and has many memes associated to it too over the years. It's nothing groundbreaking, so why the hell would anyone want to make a sequel to this all these years later? It was baffling to me and most people on the internet when I heard the news, and it almost sounded like a bit of a joke. Another Top Gun film, really, after all this time? This film should absolutely not have worked for so many reasons, but man, did it deliver. This came along and completely blew us out of the water with fantastic, instantly likeable characters, to the constant reassurance of Tom Cruise acting together with the latest mind-blowing cam work on the actual aerial fight scenes. To say the film made us eat our words is a complete understatement. It's a staggering achievement of a film and a movie that when I left the cinema, I genuinely had an aching neck due to the tension of my viewing posture with the incredible scenes and the IMAX presentation, the thundering sound as well, and just an exhilarating experience overall. I felt like I just walked off a ride, like some fast roller coaster, and I just couldn't believe how good it was when everyone else thought it wouldn't be. So Top Gun Maverick sees the return of Captain Pete Mitchell, otherwise known as Maverick, played by Tom Cruise, just as expected. Expected because he's Tom Cruise in every film, rather than playing the character he's playing. However, there is something about this character that seems to click with him as a person, and he suits this role. It was nice to feel like he was back, rather than Tom Cruise was back. Maverick is the surefire aviator pilot you can rely on to get the job done, but at the same time having zero regard for orders, rules or safety, and as such it makes him the intense troublemaker, risk taker who the top dogs love to hate, hence his call sign Maverick. Top Gun 86 saw Maverick fly with his co-pilot and best friend Goose, who sadly died during a malfunctioning ejector seat incident in that film. In this, we see the son of Goose, Bradley Rooster Bradshaw, who bears a ridiculous striking resemblance to the original character and actor and fills the role of the student with caring mentor scenario. Rooster is played brilliantly by Miles Teller, and he has significant resentment towards Maverick, a theme that weaves throughout the film in a realistic manner and provides the through-line story that brings emotion to characters of old and new together. Top Gun 86 also had the kind of anti-hero competition character to Maverick, that being Tom Iceman Kaczynski, played by Val Kilmer. And this sequel also sees a similar character with Jake Hangman Saracen. Again, having a strong resemblance to Iceman, more in attitude than that being cocky and super confident, and often quoting himself as the best. It's these connections that flow through the film and make it all feel like a great sequel, with the time between being earned and realistic. Our leads, together with the rest of the crew, need to take on an unnamed enemy who have a missile base and a new super jet fighter in order to squash such threat to the US military. However, said base is ridiculously difficult and dangerous to get to, so it's up to Maverick to draft in and teach the new crew the old ways and what's needed to get the job done so they can all be home safely in time for supper. More on that challenge later. So for now, what worked to make this such a magnificent experience and outstanding film? Well, there's three key points, and they're the characters, the story, and the flying aerial scenes. Let's start with the characters first, though. We get the return of Tom Cruise as Captain Maverick, who provides the same attitude as he did in the original Top Gun. He's still the absolute best pilot, and yet the same risk taker and orders disobeying hotshot. Tom Cruise can be hit and miss for me because he just plays the same person in every film, but the odd exception now and then, very occasionally. In this, however, he just seems to fit the role perfectly as an iconic actor and character, with Maverick bringing back the signature flight jacket, sunglasses and motorbike that we associate with Top Gun. I can't imagine anyone else playing this role now. For me, Top Gun and Tom Cruise is a bit like Robert Downey and Iron Man. Despite that there's only these 2 films as well where he's played this character, I think there's a sense of it being much bigger than it is, in that most people will have seen the first film or seen many memes, images and classic iconic shots through the years that make Top Gun and Tom Cruise much bigger, like there's lots more of it than there actually was. We then get Miles Teller as Rooster, the son of Goose, who died in the first film, and it's insane just how much he resembles him. He plays a character who has resentment towards Maverick, holding him somewhat responsible for his father's death. And as if things couldn't get any more awkward, Maverick's drafted in and posted as the teacher for Rooster and the other Top Gun pilots on this top secret mission. I really like Miles Teller as an actor, and he shines incredibly well throughout this, with a realistic attitude towards Maverick, who cares so much for him and accepts why you wouldn't like him. It's compelling viewing to watch, and you feel sorry for both characters on both sides of the coin. We also get all the other Top Gun pilots too, including Fanboy, Coyote, Payback, Hangman, Phoenix and Bob, all being taught by Maverick and ultimately being led by John Hamm's Cyclone. Each play great parts and shine throughout with good balance given to all by the director, and each one having meaningful moments and times to shine. They're all a lovable team and have the usual testosterone conflicting personalities that make for this kind of film and the great drama. But when they work together, they form a really great and awesome squad. The love interest this time around sees Jennifer Connelly, who I find a bit so-so in a lot of films, usually because she's cast as someone with a bit of an awkward attitude or a sad, dull smile. But in this, I thought she was great too. She was jolly, she was happy and fun, smiling. It's a welcome role and change for her, I think. It's nothing too serious, but she provides a nice diversion break from the action and the flight school antics to get us eager to get back to it when we do. So on to the story then, and what makes this so good? Well, aside the points I've already mentioned around Maverick and Rooster, it's really the mission, the plan of how to attack the enemy base and succeed. It's explained really clearly multiple times and mapped out perfectly for the audience in such a way that you get it and understand every single part of the mission from start to finish. It's actually a fairly simple exercise when you look at it objectively. Navigate a valley trench, fly up and over a mountain at the end, and on your way down, shoot a target, then fly out. It sounds easy, yeah? But it's not. It's ridiculously hard. The majority of the film follows a constant training plan to get the timings right. Each pilot has to navigate the trench in a short time limit, otherwise it's curtains. And they need to be low to avoid radar too. And that in itself requires low-level canyon flying at fast speed. While descending the mountain, you just fire your missiles at the target, and 2 of those are needed to be on target, and it's then back up again at mega speed, pulling over 9 Gs to near blackout stage, and then having to deal with the missiles that will follow you and track you, and also avoid the super advanced enemy aircraft that's also going to be alerted. When the pilots get round to actually carrying out the mission, the film's already very cleverly giving you so much detail without kind of just shoving it down your throat, but weaving it into the story over time that you know every step and every danger as it's played out on screen. It makes for nail-biting, compelling viewing, and I defy anyone not to enjoy it on their first viewing. This leads then into the flying scenes and the aerial combat, and this is an insane leap forward from the original film, or from any other film I've ever seen with any kind of aerial sequences. Each pilot was intensely trained as an actual pilot would be for anything from 3 to 6 months, so they could carry out flight scenes themselves with IMAX cameras built into the cockpit and no CGI needed. They worked with the Navy and actual Top Gun school, starting in simple prop planes to get some spatial awareness, then moving on to a faster jet plane, then into an F-18 fighter plane, and launching off an actual aircraft carrier out at sea. It's staggering just what they all went through to achieve this, including underwater training in the event of emergency landings in the ocean, preparing your body for super high G-force, and having to activate their own cameras, record footage, and remember their lines whilst in the air. You know this when watching it too, and it just keeps hitting you with an unbelievable notion that they're really doing this for real. It's incredibly intense, and there's a constant set of dread, wondering which of these lovable characters will survive or not at the end. So before I give my final thoughts, if you like what you see today, don't forget to check out my other videos and feel free to like, subscribe for free, to follow my channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. So my final thoughts, Top Gun Maverick's an easy 5 out of 5 for me. It doesn't even need reviewing. It is a staggeringly good film, and it's now one of my favourite films ever made. It's a monumental achievement, and I urge you to watch on a big screen and as loud as possible whenever you can. If you've not seen this yet, it is truly fantastic. And if you've not seen the original Top Gun, or you have but it was a long time ago, again, I stress you should try and make time for both films. This is a good standalone film, but it's much better as it is a definite sequel, and it has many, many direct links to the original, which really hit home much harder when watching this, knowing the first film quite well. So what do you think of Top Gun Maverick? Leave a comment below. But until next time, keep smiling, peeps.